Okay, we like to complicate things a lot, especially when it comes to things like YouTube, for example. It seems super intimidating to go from like nothing to the very things that inspired us to start a YouTube channel. So today I wanted to talk about 5 simple steps to building your own YouTube channel coming into 2025. Before we even get to the steps, it's good to point out that YouTube is trying really hard to expand creators in every single arena in the world of content creation, from long 30 to 40 minute videos to 8-minute curated videos to short form vertical content, all the way to live streams. It's honestly the best time to be a creator because not only are they pushing so many things, the trend of go, go, go and worrying about keeping somebody's attention for as long as you can, it's kind of dying off, and everything is moving more to like authentic storytelling, more personal. I mean, even myself as somebody who watches content, I'm just burnt on the bullshit. I'm just more drawn into personal content, like genuine content where somebody's just doing something that they enjoy, whether it's telling a story or putting together a creative video, all the way down to just watching somebody spin some slots or make a desk. And that's like the general trend that we're seeing everywhere right now. And so it's just like good to point that out before we even get into these steps, because you should know that this whole like Mr. Beast era where everything needs to just be like bow, bow, bow in your face, it's kind of veering away. So it doesn't need to be as daunting as what you make it seem to be. All right, step number 1, figure out the content you enjoy. Yes, shocker. Don't make content that you think somebody else will enjoy. Make content around the things that you will enjoy. Instead of focusing on trying to get into the algorithm with the content that you're doing, try to use the algorithm to build an audience with content and hobbies that you enjoy. I guess a simple way to put this would be stop worrying about making videos to get views and start making good videos that you yourself would enjoy, that you yourself would be into with whatever it is that you're into. Whether you're making tables or drawing or spinning slots or showing how you run your lawn care business from your house. Worry less about how you need to put together videos for people to like you and focus more on putting together videos of how you can just show your interest and passion to whatever it is that you're doing to the general audience. I've said for years this like cheesy cliche thing, which is in order to build a community, you have to communicate. As streamers, we've been doing this for years, just continuously talking, creating conversations to the audience or your community. And the more that people will fuck with that, the more people will stick around. Hence why I'm making this video today. I mean, this video in itself is just a great example of everything I'm talking about. I love YouTube. I love content creation. I love being able to build your brand. My personal forte is like helping other people understand that you're within complete control of doing this yourself. Like, yeah, it's actually crazy that the person watching this video right here feels like they could do more in life and feels like they have more creative interest to like kind of step outside the box. And my love for this is being able to sit here and confirm, yeah, you can fucking do that. You really can apply yourself to this shit and completely turn your life around by just simply showcasing the things that you're into in a video form. So I've figured out that content. I've taken hobbies and things that I'm interested in, like building desks or camera gear or how to do YouTube, and I put it all together in these videos. The end goal being, hopefully, you finding value in it. And then the views kind of come around that. And yes, I genuinely put these videos together on the idea of, if you watch this, does it do its fucking job? And then as a result, over time, some of the videos grow and then some just flat out don't. That's the thing about like evergreen content, which is a lot of the content that I make, this stuff to where like I could be making this video right now, but in a year to 2 years, it could still be relevant. It's like, yeah, sometimes these flop, but I don't know, I just don't fucking care. As long as some people got value from it, it's just like, on to the next. Step 2, set small, realistic goals. Listen, I'm not gonna harp to you about having like the vanity metric goals, hitting 1,000 subscribers or 5,000, 10,000, 100,000. As much as I want to bullshit and lie and say like, don't focus on those things, which you really shouldn't focus on those things. You shouldn't allow those goals to beat you down if you can't get to them faster, but like they're still fun goals. But when I say set small realistic goals, I more so mean like telling yourself you're gonna do something and sticking to it. Like a small realistic goal could be, if you're going to upload a video a week, you stick to that. You set forth a goal to where you can actually do it, but you're holding yourself accountable to do that goal without going like over the top. And it also being a goal that's within your control, because you can actually choose to sit down and put down the hours in a week to make a video. You can't control that even if your video is really good, 100,000 people are gonna subscribe to it. Other small realistic goals are like, I'm gonna get better at jotting down stuff and writing down ideas for the YouTube channel. Like the simple goal of you collecting 5 YouTube video ideas a week in whatever it is that you're into as a person, that itself is a goal. It is a goal that will help you long-term. Getting better with camera gear, learning technical stuff, making X amount of videos on your phone so you can save up for a camera. These are all small goals that are within your control, to where as you start doing them and accomplishing them, they make you feel better, which is something everybody should fucking do. Setting yourself up for a failure or just coming in like just complete random, just hoping you figure it out, like gets really daunting, and most of the time it just doesn't work. Sure, people have just like at one point started making videos and then like paid off, but some point down the line, they typically end up like getting in a routine, making goals and like actually accomplishing shit. But I just can't explain the power that you get when you start getting small W's in whatever thing you're into. Like once you create this environment and this channel and you start developing some kind of like victory momentum on it, even if it's not coming with 100,000 views, you're still accomplishing something. And then that enables you to stick with it. And then over time, it makes you want to improve at it, at which eventually the views will come. If we have any like long-term YouTube creators on here, please back me up with this idea that most of us end up getting views long-term because we get over the wall of stressing about the views and we get more in the rhythm of what can we do to show up and do what we said we were gonna fucking do. And then it's just so weird when you stop stressing about the views and you stop stressing about those metrics. It's just kind of like naturally fucking happens. Step 3, learn your analytics. Now I will say analytics are still very important. They were a little bit more important over the last few years during like the Mr. Beast era, at least some of the analytics we're gonna talk about today, because you really needed to see how long you were getting people to like click stay and watch. Now, like some of the analytics that we needed to stress about before, they're not as important. I'll give you guys some of the ones that like you should pay attention to. But first off, metrics that really just don't matter, subs. I know you wanna like get more subs because like that's the thing that everybody sees, or views, even to an extent, depends on the content. Views don't matter. Like anybody can get good views on anything. You could all share some like rage bait shit and get hundreds of thousands of views. But is it like gonna be genuine views that will help build an audience for you? In those situations, probably not, but views do matter to an extent. However, subs really don't mean much anymore. It's like hard to explain. Obviously you want people to subscribe so that way they're more informed of your new content and you build this community. And it's like this idea of like you're building this platform, and subs directly correlate the idea of like you are building something. But with the way algorithms work anymore, subs is not a metric that demonstrates the idea if you're making good or bad videos. There's other analytics to look into to see if like your titles are doing good, your thumbnails are clickable, like they're drawing in attention, or what thumbnails you should be using. Like there's other analytics on YouTube that you can use to break down what you're doing right and wrong as a creator with your videos so you can improve. Subs doesn't really help with that. If people fuck with you, they'll subscribe. But if you make good videos, some people might not subscribe. You might just pop up in somebody's homepage. They might click that video. They may never subscribe, but you might constantly pop up in their homepage because they're watching your video all the way through. This is the power of the algorithm, is you actually don't have to be subbed to constantly watch people. I bet there's a lot of people in here that actually watch consistent creators because they're constantly on the homepage whenever they go to like their YouTube desktop or on the TV. And then like after months of watching them, you find out you're not even subbed to them. I do this all the time, and I always get comments from people that are like, dude, I've been watching you for 6 months. I swear to God, I was subbed. You probably weren't subbed, but the algorithm is just so good at giving you the content that you will click and watch. And for some reason, you support your boy. I appreciate it. Now, metrics and analytics you should understand and that do somewhat matter. First and foremost, impressions. Why impressions is so important is because as creators, sometimes we get mad at platforms or we get discouraged. Like, is this even pushing me to anything? On YouTube, impressions are a dead giveaway that YouTube is doing their job. So if you go to your analytics and you look on your videos and you look at impressions, that's how many people YouTube has pushed your video to in some way, whether it's a homepage, a sidebar. YouTube has taken your video with whatever title and thumbnail you have and put it in front of somebody. And the number of impressions shows how many people that is. And this is one of the analytics that really changed my perspective on things with like the woe is me, the platform doesn't push me. And this is the number one analytic that I also shock a lot of people when they're like, they just don't push the small guy. I say, go check your analytics. And they're like, holy shit, while I only got 100 views off of this stuff, it pushed it to 10,000 people. And what's super impactful about learning that is you stop giving the power to something else and you understand like, oh shit, wait, they are pushing it. Now, what can I do to do a better job for people to come into that, to actually want to click on that video? That's where the analytics CTR or impressions click-through rate comes into play. This is the percentage of people that after seeing your video on a page somewhere decided to click on this. By the way, with the impressions and getting your video pushed, a super important thing is using keywords somewhere. And this doesn't mean like directly constantly having to title your video to relate to popular situations. It's using keywords that people would search, you know, like a how-to, or like if you make tech content, providing tech into the title would probably be pretty important. Notoriously, streamers are the worst at doing SEO or putting keywords into the title. And it's like they could be playing a Call of Duty game, and for some reason their stream title is like Crazy Mondays with so-and-so. And it's like, nobody is searching that up. Why not just say Call of Duty Black Ops 6 dash whatever your name is? Anyways, back to the click-through rate. Seeing click-through rate is a good observation of if your thumbnails and titles are captivating enough for people to want to actually click. So if you're like, okay, I'm getting impressions, but my click-through rate is 2%, that's a really good sign that your thumbnails or titles need work because not enough people are interested in clicking on whatever it is that you're putting out there. Again, gives you the power to understand like, oh wait, if my click-through rate is low, I need to change my thumbnails. Now I know that is something that I need to change. Because before, if you're just making thumbnails for your videos, you really don't know what's right or wrong. You don't know what's going on. Is YouTube not pushing your stuff? If YouTube is pushing your stuff, are people just not wanting to click on it? Now you have the answer. Next, a super important analytic is your average view duration. The amount of time on average people are spending on your video. So if you have a 10-minute long video and you have a 10% average view duration, people are only sticking around for like a minute. And a good thing about the engagement tab on YouTube is you can just specifically see where people are dropping off. Are they dropping off in the first 30 seconds of the video, or are they dropping off at 6 minutes and 24 seconds? Well, then you can actually go into the video and see at 6 minutes and 24 seconds, what did you do in there? Well, maybe at that point you kind of had like a brain fart and you kind of went on this like tangent, going in a completely different direction, not related to the video in any way, shape, or form. Well, now you know, maybe you should cut that shit out of your videos. So with impressions, click-through rate, and your view duration alone, these are three really important analytics without getting like super deep into your channel. These are the analytics that will just help you understand if you're making your content work for people. If you're doing your job as a creator to bring people into the conversation that you are trying to create. Step number 4, start making a game plan for your videos. Guys, it doesn't need to be complicated. It's literally just getting down on your iPad, your iPhone, and noting down a few things. By the way, people ask if I script shit all the time. I used to, and on some more important videos, I still do from time to time, but I like to kind of like freeball it off of some notes, coming up with a title, thumbnail, jotting down some things, so that way it's like, write down ideas. That's what I'm talking about right now. I'm just gonna click that off the list. It's so funny. I've gotten the advice for years of like, dude, have some structure to your videos, make some plans for them. And like, even still to this day, I veer away from shit. I just get so lazy and I just wanna put out shit and then I don't do it. But like, it's so crazy. If I literally go back and look over the last like year and a half, or just this summer alone, I like went on a streak this summer of just like sitting down, doing a lot of thumbnails, putting together a lot of these videos, like really articulating them in some way. And lo and behold, we had a huge fucking spike and hit 100K. But even still deeper from that, if I look back at my last 2 years, the top 15 videos in the last 2 years were all like curated. And like, these like videos don't do like, you know, they're like not getting like 5K compared to 2K. I'm talking some of these videos got like 250,000 views in the first week because like I showed up and I had some structure and I had some game plan to the videos. So guys, writing down your ideas, building some structure so that way you can tell an appropriate story, it's super important. Building up your title and keywords and doing some research before you even get your video out, and even having the thumbnail done just off of the idea in itself, super important. Either way, just curating your content in some way so that way you have structure. It's really, really important. And then speaking of structure, having a schedule that you adhere to is key. I said earlier something about setting realistic goals. This is where you actually create that game plan after you have the goals. If it's an upload goal, this is where you create the game plan to keep that going. What does your schedule look like? What days are you gonna write down the ideas and then structure the video? And then what day is sit down and record day? Typically, I like to record on the weekends. Like I try to make sure I have a video out every single week, and I like it to drop around Sunday or Monday. So I typically spend the weekends recording. Right now it's Sunday. I've noted this stuff down throughout the week. Here I am on Sunday, sitting down, recording this evening. I'll edit it tomorrow, Monday, it will be out. Maybe it's a long form video on Monday and a short form video on Tuesdays and Thursdays. But either way, build some structure, set a game plan with this schedule and stick to it. And that is step number 5. You have to be consistent. Look, this is what destroys like 98% of people that actually attempt to do any form of content, not even just YouTube, but it is important to say on YouTube. I can't tell you the amount of people that I've seen like rally the troops, like they're really gonna do it this time. They go super hard for 2 to 3 weeks. They don't get the results. They don't get the reward that they thought they were gonna get. That feeling kind of dies out, the momentum kind of dies out, and they just give up. I would argue that consistency is the #1 animal in the YouTube game by far. And I'm not even basing it off the idea of like just over a period of time, by consistently showing up and doing your thing, you will have a better chance. Like I'm not even mentioning it in that aspect. I'm pointing it out in the idea that just as a creator in itself, you're going to have to learn to stick through the shit times, the times where it's not glorified, the times where you don't get a lot of reward. We just hit 100K on this channel last month. We were absolutely cooking over the last few months, and life updates hit me in the fucking face. While you may sympathize, none of you guys fucking care. The algorithm doesn't care. The platform doesn't truly give a shit because everybody has their own problems. That is momentum that I have to work on. That's an obstacle I have to navigate around. And then guess what? As a result, some things fall. So this is a stage where it's not as glorified. I've hit a milestone. I'm a long way from a very big milestone, but I want this shit. My only option is to stick with it and be consistent even when it's not as glorified. That grit teaches so much, not only as a creator, but just as a person. Not every day through a weight loss journey are you gonna feel happy about the way you look. Not every day through strength training or trying to build muscle are you gonna feel full and strong. But with doing YouTube, just like with going to the gym, regardless, over a year time frame, the more times you visit the gym, the more times you suck it up, you get through those bad workouts, you enjoy the good workouts. Eventually, as a long result, by the end of the year, if you're consistent, you will be in a far better place compared to where you started if you're just at least sticking with the shit. Again, I cannot emphasize enough how simple of a step this is for anybody that wants to start a YouTube channel. And it's genuinely the #1 reason why I see so many people fall on their face. And I'm not even talking about from like a small creator perspective, guys. I know of creators that fucking like hacked the algorithm started a YouTube channel, especially from like another platform. Maybe they had a TikTok or an Instagram growing, and like they leveraged what they do, came to YouTube, and like they got ridiculous views off the rip, but they just weren't consistent with the platform. And look, I get people are busy, you have personal lives, but like to me, there's just no excuse if you want to have a successful channel and not applying time to get a video out every week or two and sticking to that fucking schedule. You mean to tell me you want to grow your YouTube channel, you want to be a decent creator, but you can't find a few hours in a 2-week time frame to sit down and make a fucking video about something that you're into? I find that hard to believe, but hey, I'm not here to judge you on that. I'm just here to click off these last check boxes on the 5 simple steps for growing a YouTube channel and just create my content and get the fuck out of here. All right, I hope this video was helpful in some way, shape, or form. That's all I got for you guys today. I'm out, peace, deuces.